Dear friends of Caritas Asia, first of all, let me thank you for inviting me to speak at this important occasion of the World Humanitarian Day webinar, which is a moment to highlight the great work done by the humanitarian communities all over the world, especially in Asia, and also to reflect on different humanitarian challenges and concerns and make some relevant suggestions for the future. Our world is facing a number of crises, both natural and man-made. The natural disasters that adversely affect the most impoverished nations. The recent earthquake in Haiti, amidst the raging political and economic chaos in the country, droughts, environmental degradations, the rise in the sea level, typhoons, floods, and forest fire, for which 2021 is recording one of the world's worst season in decades globally. They are all created by the lack of care for the environment, leading to climate change and ecological crisis. All these are happening in a context where the COVID-19 pandemic is creating havoc and panic at a global level. They all represent a major humanitarian challenge for the humanitarian workers. On the other hand, the major man-made crises also bring about untold sufferings to the peoples. The economic crisis amidst a political chaos in Lebanon has left the Lebanese in the incapacity to even procure bread. The recent developments in Afghanistan, where an additional more than 500,000 are on the road to exile. The chaos and the incertitude that exist in many of these countries in the region. Today, our globalized world is facing compound humanitarian crisis wherein people are facing multiple problems at the same time. It is in these challenging situations and contexts that humanitarian workers, in particular Caritas collaborators, work at the grassroots to bring a ray of hope and joy to those who are affected by these crises, to accompany, defend, and protect them. The World Humanitarian Day is also the moment to ask ourselves what we should do, what we should propose, and how to encourage and motivate decision makers to take bold steps that would go in the way of ensuring dignity to those affected by these crises. Caritas Internationalis, a confederation of 162 members, is working with the grassroots communities in 200 countries and territories and is a witness to the untold sufferings caused by these man-made and natural crises. In line with the teaching of Pope Francis, on this World Humanitarian Day, Caritas recalls that the only appropriate response is integral ecology, putting the interest and dignity of the human person at the center of all activities and decisions. Without determined political will on the part of the decision makers and political leaders, there will be no change, and the well-being of the poorest cannot be ensured. COP26 must address this as an urgent priority, put forward tangible and adequate solutions, and allocate sufficient resources or means to realize them. On this important day, Caritas Internationalis recalls that without determined political will, human life is in danger. And where one part of humanity suffers, the whole human family suffers as well. The Confederation calls on the political leaders and decision makers to ensure a certain number of activities. First of all, ensure the safety of the Afghan population and the provision of basic needs for the Lebanese people. Allocate sufficient funds for communities to engage in community-based development activities, both agricultural and non-agricultural, to ensure their means of livelihood and food security. Give priority to disaster management, to local communities, especially through risk reduction, formation, and activities, to ensure the safety of the people through early warning systems. Encourage local governments to enter into close collaboration with local civil society organizations and faith-based organizations to strengthen their response mechanism with a particular emphasis on humanitarian action to address the consequences of climate change. Ensure access to basic integral health care for the most vulnerable, including vaccines against deadly diseases. Commit to immediate economic and industrial global policies in order to minimize the impact on global warming and degradation of the ecosystem. I thank you very much for your attention, and I wish you a great World Humanitarian Day seminar. Thank you very much.